This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Well, joining us today is Jonathan Owen, the CEO of Metals One. Thank you very much for joining us again, Jonathan. Slightly warmer than when we last spoke.
It certainly is. A good 40 degrees warmer. No, it's good to see you, Mark.
Indeed. Well, it was nice to do that interview from site there. What was it like to be there and witness the drills going on? Because from the video, it looked actually quite peaceful and also quite cool. The equipment looked like a pretty cool piece of kit.
No, it was. It's unfortunately not very photogenic. If you think of sort of drilling programs in Africa, wide open spaces, lots of activity going on, and a good backdrop. Here we're amongst a birch tree plantation, all very calm, you say, and minimal impact as well, which is important. But it's gone very well. In fact, I'd say it's gone perfectly. And kudos to the team on the ground, led by Robert Manstrom, my GM in Finland. Bearing in mind that we didn't press the button on the drill campaign until the Gunsint tranche of money had come in, which was not that long ago. Within 2 days, we had signed the contractor, mobilized the contractor, and the contractor had drilled the first hole within 3 days of that event. So, and it's just gone on from there, really. So what should have been a 4-week program has just taken us just over two and a bit weeks, without incidents, with a very supportive community around us as well. So we had a new mayor appointed, Telara, the local town, and he's been very complimentary of us. And then the church is the major landowner for the area that we're operating on, and again has been hugely supportive with us. In fact, the few of the young birch trees that we've had to cut down to gain access are being logged by the team as we speak for winter fuel for the church. So it's gone very well. Couldn't have asked for more.
And the aim was to confirm the structure and potential for Tel Vivara style nickel, copper, cobalt, and zinc. So, I mean, is it too early to say if you've met that objective yet?
Definitively, it is too early to say. We have the assays to come yet in January and February, but from the initial observations and the Handtel XRF readings that we've taken from the cores, it appears that we could very well be in that Tel Vivara style mineralization. So that is black schist with the nickel, cobalt, copper, etc. Mineralization.
And what is Tel Vivara style? What does that mean exactly?
Well, Tel Vivara is Europe's largest, really only significant nickel producer, and it's just up the road from us. And effectively, we're targeting the same ore. So for us, it's hugely de-risked in the sense that the ore is, it's proven that it can be processed, and there's a market for it. And the other interesting fact that really doesn't come through in this particular RNS strongly is this is some of, if not some of the world's lowest carbon intensive nickel available, and it's being produced in an environment with some of the world's, if not the world's, cheapest green energy. So it's very exciting for us to find this.
Low carbon intensive, is that just the nature of the deposit and the infrastructure that's available?
It's the nature of the ore. It's amenable to bioheat bleaching, which is extremely efficient. It's the most efficient way of extracting minerals from rock. And that's what we have.
Great. And I noticed a picture in the RNS, and that's a new feature of the LSE. You can now put pictures in the RNSs, which is nice. So there we saw the picture there of some of the core. It looks very dark. It's not black exactly, but it's almost black. So, I mean, what can you tell from that? I mean, we've talked there about those different elements potentially in there, but is there one that's more you're targeting over the other?
Well, what you see there is it is black when it's wet. It's dried out here. This is the black schist. Stretching out into the distance, you could, those that know can probably calculate roughly how much we've got there in this one string. Each of those trays is a meter long, so it gives you an indication. But there's basically two types of black schist that we expect to encounter. There's the barren black schist, which is basically a schist without any mineralization, and then there's the mineralized black schist, which contains the nickel, the copper, cobalt, zinc, etc., etc.
Right.
So the big question is, which one have we got? And using the XRF handheld device, which is like a Star Trek tricorder, it'll tell us within plus or minus 20-30%, maybe more, what mineralization is in the core, and it's coming up with strong indications for nickel, copper, cobalt, which is exactly what we're after.
Okay, nickel, copper, cobalt. Okay, but of course the assay results, which you said expected early 2024, will give definitive numbers to what is actually there.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So the assays, the samples are already on their way to the assay lab. The first two holes have arrived at the assay lab, which is ALS in Ortakumbu, just down the road from us, and the rest will trickle over the Christmas period now and into the new year. But yeah, like I said, the XRF device gives us an indication of mineralization. The assays is the definitive.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. So what stage will it take you to once you've had these results then? Because I note from the RNS your future plans, you want to establish an efficient nickel and battery metals operation in Europe, and you want to get some plans for that outlined in Q1. So, I mean, you're already talking quite advanced here, aren't you? So, I mean, if you to give a sort of sense of the stage of the project now and what this drilling, how that will take you to sort of the next stage, getting a resource together, and how you might come up with these plans to do this operation.
So we have multiple options to move forward to an inferred resource or an upgraded inferred resource. That's always been my objective with this work program, and that's the work program we listed on for the 12 to 18 months for this Black Schist project. So we have this opportunity here at the R1 hook. This is effectively an extension of the existing 28 million tons. Subject to what to the assays and the structure. There's some structural analysis to do as well in terms of how this hook is structured from a geological perspective. Once we do that, we'll decide, okay, do we go to phase 2 here, step out with the drilling, create that 3-dimensional volume, if you like, of the ore body, which then gives us the inferred resource, tick box objective met. Or do we move across to P5? The P5 is the Paltamo license that we have to the north. That currently has 16 to 24 million tons exploration target, a JORC exploration target assigned to it. We can quite easily elevate that to an inferred resource as well. So no doubt we'll do both at some point over the 12 months. It's a question of which comes first.
Which comes first, okay. But the ultimate objective is to bring in a significant inferred resource of nickel, cobalt, copper, and then start going down the route of studies and actually, can you get this stuff out of the ground and put some numbers to it?
Yeah, that'll come later. That won't be done within this work program. That will come probably in 2025 or beyond. But you're right, it's to basically to increase the volume significantly. At the moment we have, a decent life of mine based on the 28 million tons. We want to elevate that, so it's conclusive. We're going to have a mining operation here at some point.
Okay. So 2024 is all about more exploration drilling and getting a resource.
Yeah, and not just drilling. We, as we stated in previous announcements, we've pegged a lot of new ground around the Black Schist belt. So we've raised barriers to others to come in and, if you like, carpet bag around us as the news flow starts to flow now. So we've protected ourselves in that respect, and there's a lot of interesting targets that we've come across. So there will be airborne drone surveys to be done, ground sampling, etc., over the next few months as well. So plenty of activity.
Okay, good. So how are you feeling then, just on if we sum up the year, given it's the last week before Christmas here, how are you feeling of the company's progress? I know you're relatively new onto the market. We haven't spoken that much for only the latter half, really, of this year. But how are you feeling the year has gone so far? And then, of course, you're going to presumably hit the new year quite good with some of those assay results. Yeah,
and bear in mind we only listed end of July, so effectively August, which of course is it's holiday season for many. We have achieved a huge amount. We've designed a drill program. We've executed the drill program ahead of time, on budget, without any incidents, and with the strong backing of the community around us as well. So that in itself is a huge achievement as we come into Christmas now, and then we're starting off the new year, of course, as you say, with a work program that's going to keep us busy from January the 5th, I think it is, all the way through to the end of September.
Excellent. Okay, it is going to be definitely a year of exploration activity then. Well, thank you very much, Jonathan Owen, for joining us today. Happy Christmas to you, and we'll speak again in the new year. Maybe we can go through some of those plans in a bit more detail.
Thank you, Mark. Look forward to sharing that with you in January. It's going to be an exciting start to the year, and Merry Christmas to you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programmes at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.